one wide receiver getting $30 million in Pittsburgh now from Seattle and DK Metcalf. Then they also have George Pickens. Will he still be on the roster whenever the season comes? They got Freiermuth at tight end. They got a lot of old quarterbacks putting on their helmet thinking maybe I can still throw it over that mountain. Is this from this weekend?
Coach T, are you kidding me? DK Metcalf on one side, GP on the other, Muth work in the middle, and I might need to throw my hat in the ring. If you're looking for a guy, I might still have a couple throws in me.
Okay, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champ, Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, man.
How are you, man?
How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing okay. How Yin's doing over there now that DK Metcalf is back? Obviously, we all saw that video from Footballin' with Ben. Incredible podcast. You and Spank do a great job. Can't wait to join you boys sometime soon, hopefully. But now that DK's there and George Pickens there and Pat Freiermuth's there, aside from you potentially coming back, this is a lethal offense almost overnight, it feels like, Ben.
You see the blue skies? That's because we got a crazy offense in Pittsburgh. We don't see these blue skies too often. But when we get wins and new signings like this, that the free agent market and the Steelers are making moves, it's a special day in Pittsburgh. I was blown away when I saw that news. That's and again, you hit it though, Pat, right when you said from the get-go, will George still be here? Like, that's going to be the interesting thing. Are they going to try and move him now, or are they going to be – we talked about on football, and guys have been talking about the Steelers need a number 2 receiver. Well, now they got 2 ones. I mean, is it going to stay that way, or what's going to happen? It's interesting. I don't know.
Okay, so you've obviously been in locker rooms that have had a lot of personalities, we'll say, and a lot of talent. You know, the triple Bs, the Bs, killer Bs. What you guys had was talent across the board. Running back, top 5 guy in league, top 4 guy in league. Wide receivers, even if you put in Martavis Bryant with how he was playing, top 5 guys. Antonio Brown, obviously top 5 guy. You, top 3, like top 5 guys. So whenever you talk about managing personalities, you've obviously had to do that in the past, pretty well documented. That's the big convo, right, with DK and GP is, can that exist? Can that coexist? Can that survive? What are your thoughts on that? Just outside looking in as somebody who's obviously been through maybe a similar situation in the past in the same building with the same coach.
Yeah, it can definitely happen. There's that little thing called a pigskin that's got to get in everybody's hands, though. There's going to be a lot of wanting the ball. I think it helps that you've got a pretty selfless guy in Pat Freiermuth, who's a team first guy. That'll help. But if you want to go out and sling that ball around, guys will be happy if they're getting their catches and they're getting wins. That cures a lot of belly aching is getting that ball around the guys.
Okay, so on that note, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have been talked about going to Pittsburgh. Aaron's name has gotten very prevalent in the conversation, maybe within like the last 24 hours, it feels like. Aaron may be going to Pittsburgh. Justin Fields may be going back to Pittsburgh. They'll also talk to Russ, depending upon the situation. How about Sam Darnold? Maybe he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, adding another weapon is certainly intriguing for a quarterback that maybe has a bit of a market. What are your thoughts on the quarterback situation, and what style of QB would you be going after if you're calling the shots?
Right. Well, I think it's changed a little bit now. I guess, early on we were talking about, you have to make a decision. Are you building to the future? Or are you trying to win right now? And it seems like with this signing, it's like a right now type thing. You've got a defense that's not getting any younger. They're pretty good. You want to win for Cam and TJ and those guys. I think you got to get a guy that can get these guys the ball, and so I think that opens up the door to Aaron, to Russ. Obviously, Justin. I was told that they offered Justin a contract. Maybe. I'm not sure. I think the ball was in his court. Last I heard, I have no idea. I think what it does do is it keeps you from going into the draft. Right. This doesn't feel like you want to grab a guy out of the draft to be the quarterback of this team, unless you're going to bring a Sam in. Is it Cousins. I don't know. Is Cousins under contract? Is he out there potentially available? I don't know what's
That's
going
a
on
lot
there.
of mixed messaging coming out of there. Some people think he's going to stay in Atlanta, but then
Okay.
$28 million with another $10 million coming, I think, in March. So there's a lot of.
That's too many numbers. That's too much going on.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
And so maybe it's Aaron for a year, and you draft a guy. Like kind of. It just depends on what you want to do. I think that you got to really consider Russ. Everyone knows what Russ can do with the deep ball or the moon ball or the rainbow ball or whatever you call it now. You got two deep threats. I mean, you telling me that you throw that ball up to DK and GP, and they're not going to want to go get that go ball. So there's a lot on the table. I think it just depends on what Coach T and the front office want to do.
Yeah, and obviously all these answers will probably come sooner than later with how they're trying to shape a team, build a team, and quarterback contracts. When you're talking about from Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins to everybody else's contract and Justin Fields, the amount of money that's going towards that is obviously a game changer for how you script the rest of the contract. So I'm excited to get these answers. You how do you feel? Have you?
Well, I was thinking about it. I put both my boys out here in 14 jerseys in the backyard, and I couldn't overthrow my one son, so I think I'm out. Unfortunately,
no.
I don't think I got it.
Oh no!
I know it stinks.
True.
Is it this? Is it this? What is it?
No, lower body.
Oh, really? Knees,
Well,
ankles?
the drop. The drop. I wouldn't be avoiding people very easily.
But did you ever? I mean, that is, we've seen the bag drill. We've seen the bag drill, brother. Yeah.
Oh, the Bruce Gradkowski's favorite video of all time.
Yeah, it's not just him. I mean, when that hit the internet, it was a fantastic thing. AP Tone has a question for you, Big Ben.
Yeah, Seven, there was a lot of talk.
Of course he does.
Yeah,
What's up,
always.
buddy?
What's up, dude? There was a lot of talk this year about the offense and how Tomlin wanted to run the ball because he wanted to take care of the ball and he wanted to keep it reined in and play defense and just win games that way. Now with signing DK and you have GP, do you think? I mean, it's never happened in your career where the reins were tightened for you. You were allowed to do whatever you want, especially later in your career. Do you think whatever quarterback it is, things get a little bit looser this year?
Well, I think you should. I mean, when you got those guys outside and you're throwing the ball, I know there's still some questions with Naj. What's going to happen there? I like the way Warren runs the ball. Do you bring in another kind of 1-2 if it's not Naj? And I think that's going to be, if you've got a young quarterback, you're going the draft route, or if you've got a Fields who would be in his, I still consider him a younger guy in this league. I think that, the OC, Arthur Smith, maybe will have a little bit of rain pulling, but and obviously there's been reports in Pittsburgh that he did that last year with Russ. Obviously I'm not in the building. I don't know how much rain pulling there was, but listen, if Aaron Rodgers comes in, who can tell him to pull back on the reins? You're gonna tell him go, let it fly, throw the ball around. And I think if Russ comes back, or if you got a veteran like Sam that comes in here, let it go. Just let it fly. Who cares about ball control and running it?
Let it go. Yeah.
Absolutely, let it fly. Just let it go.
Yeah, you already know. You got to let it go. I mean, that is exciting ball. Speaking of that, D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of Artie Smith's defense, Ben, offense, with GP and Metcalf, number one, who do you think is going to be playing the X? And then how, if you were the OC, how would you move these guys around in that offense attacking defenses?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as familiar with watching DK in terms of can he move around in different spots. I saw as much as I've seen, I guess, GP do some slot stuff. I'd love to see GP go into the slot a little bit. I'd love to let him do some things in there. And I'm sure DK can, he can go wherever you want, but I would probably keep GP at the X and put DK at the Z, put him out there to the trip side. That's just my initial thought without really getting into it. But I think that's what's so much fun if you can get guys that are predominantly outside kind of go ball receivers and put them in the slot and create those matchups, because we know that nickel DBs and stuff they don't want to necessarily guard those guys. You go cover two man, and now the safeties are splitting, and you got DK or GP in the middle running the go route down the middle of the field,
Nightmare.
That forces some scary type stuff, you know?
That was literally what Bill Belichick and Randy Moss talked about whenever he got traded to New England. Bill Belichick tells a story about him and Randy talking ball, and Randy's like, "You're never going to see that coverage or whatever against me." And then Bill's like, "Well, wait, we can get a little creative here. We can put you in the slot. What are they going to do?" And Randy, I guess, scored like 15 touchdowns, 20 touchdowns.
You want that. Give me that. Put that guy in there. You talk about Martavis Bryant. You talk about Antonio Brown and Chase Claypool. Put them in the middle of the field and let them run down the middle on slots. Absolutely.
Speaking of slot, nickel corner, Jordan Lewis of the Jaguars has become the NFL's highest paid nickel as of like 10 minutes ago. So congrats to him getting a deal. The Patriots are signing Bob Spillane, the dump truck.
I love him.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Hey, you were teammates with him whenever he had the Derrick Henry collision, right?
Another Mac guy. I think Western Michigan, maybe.
The dump truck, Bob Spillane, massive neck, heavy hitter. You're talking Thumptown USA.
That's awesome.
Goes to the New England Patriots. New England Patriots have $122 million to spend. And then the Rams are bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo to play backup to Matthew Stafford. Congrats to him getting a gig with the Rams. You just talked about putting DK maybe into slot, have him run a go, or GP. Go ahead.
Jordan Lewis, highest paid nickel now. So now we got a highest paid corner, highest paid nickel. Played for the Cowboys last few years, was a dog in there. So now going to Jacksonville, big signing for them.
Congrats to Jordan. Look at the nickel because that's going to become that's the base coverage basically.
I mean, nickels are starters. And I mean, we're already talking about the difference of the top high-end cornerbacks and the top high-end receivers because of what Ben was talking about, because of what I was talking about earlier. The top guys being Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase of the world, being able to go from X to Z to the slot and cause all these nightmare matchups for defenses.
Okay, so I don't want to disrespect our audience by saying this, but the nickel corner, whenever we talk about secondary, normally 4, right? Then you take out a linebacker, add another corner into the box to add some speed. That is the nickel corner. How long has this been around, and who's the greatest nickel of all time? Does that exist?
That's a tough question. The best guy to ever play in there was Charles Woodson, in my opinion, just because how he impacted the game coverage-wise, blitz-wise, attacking the football. So I would probably put C. Wood as the top guy who's playing the slot.
How about you, Big Ben? AFC North, a lot of nickel corners?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's the key to having that guy is he's got to be able to cover. But when you get a really good blitzer, a guy that and he was on our team for a little bit. I know this is just who kind of popped into my head right away because he's still, I believe, still playing. It was Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton was a great blitzer. You kind of cover a guy, but you got to be able to get in there and not be afraid to run stop. You got to stick your nose in there sometimes. And the guy that nickel corner has to be fearless. I'm just putting it out there right now. He's got to be fearless.
Yeah, we had a guy that would say he had a stinger when his lifeless body was laying on the field and then jogged off. And now he does TV.
That made me too much.
TV. It's great to have him. All right, let's get back to the Steelers here with Big Ben Roethlisberger. Connor has the last question for you.
Yeah, Ben, big convo with the Steelers right now. TJ Watt, when you were, negotiating a new deal, how did that go with the front office and everything? And obviously Myles Garrett just got a massive deal. Would you bring kind of the other deals?
Fuck! X is down again. X is down. Sorry, Ben. It's a bad day for that. Go ahead.
Gosh, darn it. But would you bring other deals that you saw around the league to the front office? Like, hey, this is what these guys are getting, and do you think TJ's doing that?
He should. I think it's funny. I was talking to James Harrison this morning. We were laughing about Myles Garrett. Like, he wanted nothing to do with Cleveland. He wanted to win a Super Bowl. He wanted out of there. I don't want nothing to. Oh wait, how much? Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. No problem. Yep, I'm here. I love this place. Don't want to leave. Never wanted to leave. But yeah, I mean, you got to decide what you want to do. I mean, TJ's a stud, and I mean, I'm not sure who his agent is, but I'm sure I know his brother does a lot. Obviously. On this show and whatnot.
Why? You're saying publicly negotiating?
Everybody knows what that dude brings to the table.
Yeah, TJ, the record with TJ playing versus the record without TJ playing, let alone the introductions of the defense without TJ coming out. I mean, it's just like a whole game changer. He's a Yinzer hero and forever will be.
For sure.
And hopefully they get a deal done. Khan's got a lot on his plate right now.
So.
We need a quarterback. We got TJ. We got these stupid Browns are doing Brown stuff.
Yeah. Okay. George is pissed.
George is not pissed.
Maybe pending.
We don't know if he posted
I was
something.
saying, is that news? I'm not on the media on the whatever.
George-
Well, X is down anyway.
It's
cool.
X is down anyway, so
No,
he
George
wouldn't
is
know.
not pissed.
It's an assumption.
Why would he be pissed? I mean, 33 a year?
Yeah, but DK's knocking at his door like, hey, take that jersey off, bitch. I'm 14.
No, he's not. They'll be able to figure that out.
That's gonna be interesting. What happens there?
They fight.
Everybody doesn't mind a little bit of a number change. You know, more money.
Run a 40?
More money from the jersey sales. Oh, you think they should race? Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
I mean, what about a mini combine for it? Like a little jugs machine, run, jump vertical, like just a whole little thing. Winner gets it all.
George is a beast. Okay, I'm not saying that with
Yeah.
love. George, if you don't want to be there, say you come to Indianapolis, buddy. Okay, you'll be so. No, actually, you should go somewhere else.
Yeah, plus,
I don't know. I don't know if we're
Who's
the right.
quarterback in there? You still have AR or is Flacco? Where's Flacco? Where's Joe?
Joe will show up.
We want Joe.
We know Joe will show. We know Joe will show. Maybe your quarterback
Joe
out
will
here,
show.
Ben. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks. Hope I see you guys soon.
You got it, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Roethlisberger.
yeah.